What's up everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Shavkat Rakhmonov breaks silence on Belal Muhammad fight. On Saturday, the UFC announced that Belal Muhammad would be defending his belt against Shavkat Rakhmonov in the main event of UFC 310. With Muhammad putting on one of the most dominant fights of his career in his UFC 304 clash with Leon Edwards this past summer, and Rakhmonov entering the December fight with an undefeated record, the highly anticipated bout has generated plenty of buzz around the MMA community. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. On Wednesday, Rakhmonov spoke about the fight in an interview with Vesnik MMA, saying, "My opponent is really good. You can't underestimate Belal Muhammad. He's great at stalling fights. He has great technique. I don't think it will be an easy fight for me. I will do my best in this fight. I will get everything I have in this fight. Belal is a hard worker. He always trains hard. He always trains. He always learns something new. Good for him. May the better man win when we fight." On the flip side, Belal Muhammad is feeling supremely confident ahead of the bout, vowing to hand the Nomad his first professional loss during an appearance on the Anik Florian podcast.
I want the guy that they think is gonna walk through me, right? Usman, there's gonna be excuses. There's gonna be that, oh, he lost 3 in a row, blah, blah, blah. I'm already getting it now with Shavkat. Oh, he's gonna walk through him. He can't do that to Shavkat. Shavkat does this, this, and this. So when I go out there and I make it look easy, and these people have nothing else to say, when I go out there and I walk through him and I break him, like there's nothing else. Then they're gonna come out here and say, well, he was never tested. He was never this. He was never that.
Right.
But I love it though. I love that. Like I said, the people, the haters, the doubters, it does nothing but make me work harder. It does nothing but make me want to prove him wrong more.
Despite the champion's confidence and his dominant display against Leon Edwards, when betting lines opened, it was Shavkat Rakhmonov who was the betting favorite. With the fight less than 2 months away, only time will tell how this one plays out. Renato Moicano on fixing the UFC rankings. The UFC's rankings have been a major talking point in the MMA world over the past few months. Initially, much of the talk revolved around Jon Jones' place on the pound-for-pound rankings. However, 2 controversial updates then shifted the focus onto the UFC's rankings as a whole. First, Renato Moicano did not move up the lightweight rankings following his win over Benoit Saint-Denis in Paris. Then, more recently, Khalil Rountree didn't move up in the light heavyweight rankings after his fight with Alex Pereira, which, as Dana White pointed out this week, saw Rountree up on the scorecards before he was finished. During a recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Moicano was asked how he would fix the UFC's rankings. "I saw Dana White talking about AI, but the whole thing is the AI. Somebody's programming the AI too. So the way they program AI is the way the AI is going to do the matchups. So I think would be best if we do like a way that is points. So if you knock the guy out, or if you submit him, or if it's a decision against a ranked guy, like point-based system, I think that would be better. That would be more logical. But like I said before, I was talking ish on the rankings on the internet, but just to get the hype. I was not really upset about that. I was just trying to get some clicks and to get some people to my YouTube, because at the end of the day, rankings, they don't matter." And we just saw that. We just saw that because Khalil Rountree, number 8, fighting for the belt, and we saw Jamal Hill, and we saw BSD. We saw BSD. If he beat Dustin at the time, he would fight for the belt. As Dana White explained this week, he has a meeting scheduled to figure out what can be done to clean up the rankings. In addition, White also clarified that regardless of any changes the UFC makes to the rankings process, he wants a third party to be responsible for the rankings in order to keep things fair. MMA community reacts to Khamzat Chimaev wrestling footage. Earlier this week, leading up to Khamzat Chimaev's UFC 308 fight with Robert Whittaker next weekend, footage of the undefeated contender shadowboxing began to circulate around the MMA community. Now, in a new clip leading up to the highly anticipated fight, the 3-time Swedish national wrestling champion can be seen manhandling 2024 Olympic gold medalist Razambek Zamalov. The MMA community was quick to weigh in, with some fans left completely stunned. There's not a single wrestler in the UFC that can beat Khamzat. Not Bo Nickel, not Belal, not Islam, not anyone. When you combine his aggression and striking, he's the most complete fighter in the UFC. He'll dog walk and dominate Whittaker and easily, and I mean very easily, beat whoever's the champion. Another fan shared a similar prediction regarding a fight between Chimaev and Nickel. "I've seen enough. He out-wrestles Bo Nickel in the octagon." Others pointed out the weight difference between the two. Zamalov was the Olympic gold medalist at 74 kilos, which is about 163 pounds, and Khamzat fights at 185 pounds. So that means Khamzat is considerably bigger than Zamalov. But with that said, it's still impressive that Khamzat was able to wrestle well against an Olympic champion. Another fan weighed in, writing, "Working on chaining wrestling attacks is cool at this level. For those unaware, no, Zamalov is not working at 100%. Neither is Khamzat. It's live drilling." One fan added, "Putting the weight difference aside, he's too good on the ground. Once he latches onto you, you have to be really good to get him to let go. See the fight with Kevin Holland. I was going to say to get him off, but I know my audience." Another referenced Chimaev's cardio, comparing him to Khabib Nurmagomedov. If this guy has cardio like Khabib, would have been one of the GOATs without a doubt. If Chimaev manages to pick up his 14th win when he and Robert Whittaker face off later this month in Abu Dhabi, he could very well be next in line for a crack at the title. Ariel Helwani fires back at Belal Muhammad and Ali Abdelaziz. During an interview with Tom Aspinall this week, Ariel Helwani asked the interim champ how much of an impact the early morning start time had on his fight with Curtis Blaydes at UFC 304. The way Belal Muhammad sees things, Helwani was looking to make an excuse for Leon Edwards losing his main event fight with the Bully. During the latest episode of Remember the Show, Muhammad spoke with his co-host John Anik, taking aim at Helwani.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ariel Helwani is one of the biggest haters in the world, right? He's not. He knows what he's doing when he tries to bring these questions to fighters and he tries to get you to hate on him. And he's been wanting to get people to make excuses for why Leon lost his fight.
Muhammad's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, also weighed in on social media, reposting the clip of Muhammad along with, "This big noise coward. He's been kicked out of the UFC for being a piece of ish. Good job, Dana White, getting ready of this." He then followed it up writing, "I'm sick of this guy and I blocked him a long time ago, but somebody should tell him and any of his team members, when I see them, they may be slapped. Leon Edwards took his whooping like a man and nobody needs to make an excuse for him." Helwani then addressed the situation, taking aim at Abdelaziz. "The haters are out and we welcome them all, one and all. You will hit us with temper tantrums. We will hit you with peace, love, and a big old hug, and maybe even a kiss. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the life. Congratulations on especially being in a spot in your life." And I'm referring to Ali in particular, on being in a spot in your life where you're so dependent on one particular man that you have to continuously kiss that man's tuchus. That is the behind of a man. You have to kiss his touches repeatedly. You have to tag him. You have to thank him. You have to continuously praise him. Because without that man, you are cut off. Meanwhile, here we are, independent. We are solo. We are thriving. We are expanding. We're growing. We're making things happen. If Muhammad or Abdelaziz wind up firing back, it sounds like with the Ariel Helwani show now in full swing, the uncrowned founder is ready to verbally go blow for blow. UFC Fight Updates. With just days to go until this weekend's UFC Fight Night, Hernandez vs. Pereira card at the Apex, Brady Highstand has been forced out of his bantamweight clash with Jake Hadley. Instead, Hadley will now collide with Cameron Smotherman on short notice, who'll be looking to make his UFC debut amid a 3-fight winning streak in Fury FC. Shifting gears and looking ahead at the UFC Fight Night Macau card on November 23rd, MMA Fighting's Damon Martin has reported that Mahashata Heiser and Nicholas Motta will meet in a lightweight bout. That'll see Mahashata look to build on a split decision win over Gabriel Benitez back in April. And on the other side, Motta will look to build on a victory over Tom Nolan that took place this January. UFC reveals location for UFC 312. Following the UFC 305 card in August, the UFC is returning to Sydney, Australia in the new year. On Wednesday, the promotion announced that the UFC 312 pay-per-view card on February 9th would be held at Sydney's Kudos Bank Arena. Of course, for US fans, the event will be held on Saturday, February 8th. While so far no fights have been announced for the card, the event lines up with a potential Conor McGregor-Dan Hooker bout that picked up steam over the weekend. As the Hangman previously explained in an interview with the Mac Life leading up to the BKFC event in Spain, he was planning to be in attendance in hopes of securing a fight with McGregor. The two were then seen speaking during the event, with McGregor targeting a fight in February and Hooker targeting a fight in either January or March, drawing the attention of fans and media members alike. Following Tuesday's Contender Series episode, Dana White was asked about a potential McGregor-Hooker fight while speaking to media members, reiterating that when it comes to the former champ's next fight, he'll be the one to make the announcement.
Conor McGregor and Dan Hooker have made a fight all on their own. What do you think of that fight, and is that something you're even interested in?
Yeah, obviously, that would be a great fight. I like that fight. I did not announce a fight.
Have you talked to either of them about it since they announced it?
In addition, he also made it clear that he had not spoke to either fighter about a potential matchup. With Hooker's wife expecting a baby in February, a fight at UFC 312 sounds unlikely. However, given the chance to headline a card opposite McGregor in front of local fans, Hooker may very well wind up changing his mind. Alexander Volkanovski also plans to fight the winner of Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway at UFC 312, saying this during a media press conference.
The people that travelled interstate, I plan on doing my part to bring the biggest fight we can here. Fighting for the title, that is what is pretty much promised to me. And February looks like the perfect date for that. I will be facing the winner out of Ilia Max. Quite Positively, I can guarantee that. And that's going to be an incredible event, incredible fight, I think. The moment that I had last time I fought in Australia was one to remember, and I plan on doing the same February. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure I am on that card. I'll be entertaining in Sydney, February, 100%. So whether it is for the title, interim, lightweight title, I don't care what it is. If for some reason I can't get a fight, I'll entertain on the DJ decks or something. I'll find a way to do it. So I'll be there front and center, hopefully fighting and getting my belt back. But yeah.
Diego Lopez reacted to the call out by saying, "February sounds good to me." Arman Tsarukyan on why Islam Makhachev is not comparable to Khabib. Throughout Islam Makhachev's ascension up the lightweight rankings, members of the MMA community have continued to compare his career to Khabib Nurmagomedov. During a recent interview with Red Corner MMA, Arman Tsarukyan weighed in on the stylistic differences between the two ahead of his expected title fight next year. Islam is good in all aspects, but it's not like there's an aspect where you can't outsmart him. It's possible to outplay him at boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, and on the ground. You just need to be ready for everything, unlike prime Khabib. He was so good at wrestling that it would have been really hard to beat him in that area, so you would have had to work on your wrestling defense and striking. It would have been pointless to try and out-wrestle him. While Tsarukyan is next in line for a crack at the lightweight belt, in the event that Shavkat Rakhmonov wins the welterweight title, he would welcome Makhachev's long-awaited move up in weight. During an interview with Adam Zubarayev, he explained, "Well, if Islam himself wants to fight, why not? I don't have such a desire to fight Islam, but if Islam wants to, I myself don't strive for it since I treat everyone well, but if he has a desire to move up, I won't refuse. It'll be purely sporting interest, I think. No problems." Depending on how Rakhmonov's fight with Belal Muhammad and Islam Makhachev's fight with Arman Tsarukyan both play out, we could very well see a clash of champions sometime late next year. Dana White gets called out for lying. Jake Paul, in a recent interview, revealed that Dana White lied, and Jake was in fact banned from all future UFC events.
Did you see that video of Jake Paul saying he was banned from all UFC events and then put the costume on?
Yeah. Listen, if Oscar De La Hoya was there, okay, let's put it that way. Nobody's banned from the UFC. Listen, that kid knows how to market and do his thing, and you know, all that good. But yeah, no. Jake Paul's welcome to come to UFC.
Jake said that the UFC sent him an email claiming that he would be charged with trespassing if he was at a UFC event. Here's what Jake had to say.
Speaking real quick again about the UFC, you were at the Sphere event back in September. You went in disguise. You know, you've gone back and forth with Dana a little bit. Dana said he wasn't sure why you went in disguise because you're more than welcome at UFC events. Did you do that because you thought maybe you weren't welcome there, or were you just trying to maybe watch the fights anonymously?
Yeah, no, he's just saying that to make it seem like I wasn't banned, but definitely has sent an email to me saying I'm trespassed from all UFC events and I'm not welcome back, etc. So, of course, Dana doing what he does best, which is lie.
Jon Jones fires back at the MMA community for steroid comments on his new physique. Bones Jones is getting prepared for his fight with Stipe Miocic and has shared pictures of his training and workout. Fans speculated that Jon might be back on steroids since he's looking leaner and bulkier. Jon fired back on social media writing, "Whole bunch of trolls whose dreams never came true, stuck in the mud talking about he's on steroids." Top comments. "I don't get why fighters still do interviews with Ariel Helwani. All he does is ask intentionally provocative questions to create division where there isn't any. I can't take fighters' retirement seriously anymore. We know that they're going to be back in 2 years, so why bother even retiring? Dana streaming an event is effing hilarious to me. The fact that Duckington is scared of Ian is crazy. That's possibly the best matchup he could get, since the rest are monsters. Talks about how insecure Duckington is about his skills.